So you know I'm paid in full.
Hey, what's going on? You're tapped in. It's another 180 Creator interview. I'm your host, Joe Teel, and I got another great guest, Don Santiago. What's going on?
Just thankful to be here. Not a whole lot. I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. So the rap, the personal trainer stuff, what else you got going on?
I'm working on another studio album right now. Hate You, Love Me. It's a continuation of a series that I stopped in like 2018, but I'm just glad I'm re-inspired. I haven't rapped in almost 8 months.
Yeah. So what do you think caused that?
A lot of it was just taking the fitness stuff more seriously. At that time, I was 8 months deep into working at 5-Star Nutrition before I switched over and started working at Anytime Fitness as a gym manager. No longer there anymore. Nothing personal, just no longer there anymore. But when I started taking that more seriously because it was paying the bills faster and I still had streaming revenue as like a side hustle, just like as a pillow, I was like, okay, I really don't have to put out more music anytime soon unless I feel like it again. And I was kind of burnt out. I went 4 years in a row in that 4 years, it was a 2 album a year average. I kind of felt like I was running out of shit to say.
Yeah. Man, I struggle with stuff. That's one of the reasons why I don't even write music anymore hardly is because, man, I don't even know what to talk about anymore. Because it's like, I don't know, the conscious stuff is not really...
It doesn't catch them.
It doesn't catch them. They want something different than what I feel like I bring to the table. So it's like, I'm going to go do something else.
And think about this, I fucked with your music. Like, I won't even lie to you. Some of the reference tracks that I've heard you do for some artists that have come through, your version of it sounded better than their finished version of it sometimes. I've heard that before. And, well, to me, and I get what you're saying in terms of not wanting to do it if it's not going to gravitate towards people. There's an audience for it, but it's not going to be the thing that's going to make you nationwide where the millions of dollars come from.
Right.
I realized that early on. And like you, I like to make music about stuff. So like, I can make a catchy record just to throw a single out there. I know how to play the algorithm game. I have several songs out there that have over 20,000 now with no paid advertisement or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
It's an algorithm game. You're not even really making you're not even making music for an audience. You're making music for an AI to generate and put into certain rotations.
Yeah.
And that's boring. I'll make that just for the sake of getting the music heard, but I'm still going to talk about something.
Yeah,
and most people just don't have the patience for it.
Yeah. I don't know. Where do you think rap's at now?
I think right now, rap is just a gateway into other shit. I'll be honest with you. Every recent artist, like within the last 10 years, I think for the most part, they get known for maybe 1 or 2 songs that get them their publishing deal and their endorsement deals. And then from there on, they make music sparingly as a backdrop to the commercials that they're dropping.
Yeah.
Cardi B is probably the second biggest rap female in history behind Nicki Minaj.
Right.
She has 1 album to her name and she keeps blaming the fans for not putting out another one because she was bigger than her music. Meg, well accomplished, a lot of music. She's independent now, but her biggest song since going independent was Hiss, where she smoked Nicki Minaj's boots. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think without the endorsement deals and the label people touching her, because she's talented as fuck. No hate at all. Shout out to a Texas rapper, by the way. If she didn't have the people in her business like that, like if she was still with Roc Nation, she'd be so big she wouldn't want to make another album right now.
Yeah.
Now she's trying to make it work independently, just like Nicki Minaj is, which is kind of sad that they're beefing in the first place because Nicki's problem was never with the rappers, I don't think. I think she was beefing with the people who give out the awards.
Yeah.
She was angry at the label that signed them for thinking that this chick can replace me.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I think
that makes sense, though, because it's just like, nobody wants to get replaced or feel like they're getting replaced.
Because she got snubbed for the Grammy with Lotto. Yeah. They were going to put her in a category that her song was not, where she had no chance of winning it, while Lotto had almost the exact same song in the category that she clean swept. Yeah. Like, you could tell she wasn't mad at Lotto. She was mad at the Grammy board for setting her up for failure.
Yeah. Which the Grammys, I think people are starting to realize that the Grammys mean less and less as more of like the in crowd in that area. It's just picking.
Yeah, because the Grammy board is just artists who have won Grammys. It's literally just a club of people kissing ass together. Like, I think it's cool as a real musician that your opinion is heard and is treated like a big deal by the public. But when you think your opinion is bigger than the public, when a big part of music is making somebody feel something,
public feel
you lose the essence of it.
Yeah.
Like, we knew something was wrong when Macklemore beat Kendrick for the Grammy. We knew something was wrong then. But how can I put this? there are people who I think really deserve their Grammys, but it's hard to defend them deserving the Grammys when they get it wrong so many times. Kendrick has more Grammys than Wayne and Drake put together. Even though he has literally less songs out than Drake has #1 hits.
Yeah.
There's an imbalance there.
That's weird.
There's an imbalance there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, whereas I do think artists' opinion on music means more to the zeitgeist of music than the general public are what the numbers are supposed to be based off of, not an algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's even that statement right there is interesting, because what's getting pushed now isn't necessarily what people like, it's what the algorithm likes.
I don't know a single person who has played $1 Million Baby outside. And it's
really,
number 2 on the chart. I've never heard no one play it outside. You know what I hear? A lot of TikToks.
I play it in the car a lot.
Are you a radio guy still?
No. I play no, so I searched it on Spotify.
I got you. But not to hate on it. It's a good song.
That song got crack in it or something. Though.
Yeah, not even to hate on it. It is a really good song. But
you're saying you don't hear that on TikTok more than
like if we're talking about what is culturally felt, we're talking about what people are going to go out of their way to put in their own personal playlists, what's played out at the clubs, what's played out at the parties.
Yeah,
like I've gone nowhere where I've heard that song requested. It's probably in playlists by the DJs, of course, but I haven't heard it requested anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's number 2 behind a Kendrick song, which is one of the Drake disses.
Drake disses, yeah.
And then number 3 is another Drake diss.
Yeah, that deal, man, that whole beef is different than anything that's ever happened before.
I love it.
Because of how many songs, like the volume of responses.
That was only felt in the underground.
Like that.
Yeah, not at a mainstream level ever. Because like these were all original songs and they were going back and forth as quick as like Beans and Kiss back in the 90s. And they were doing freestyles. So like they were in the studio one night, unmixed, and then dropped it the next day at Flux. You know what I'm saying? Like it was something that we haven't seen in at least 20 or 30 years. I loved it. To me, I'm not going to give my personal opinion on it just because a lot of people already know what my opinion is. And it's biased. It's biased, I'll be real. It's biased not because I'm anti one, more pro the other. More so what it means for the winner.
You think Kendrick won?
I do.
Yeah,
I do think Kendrick won.
That was, you said biased. I was like, okay, let me put the pieces together.
Yeah,
like, say he probably bet on Kendrick.
I'll even tell you the truth. Kendrick is the one who changed my mind because I didn't expect the Kendrick Lamar response until the album. I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I figured I didn't think Drake would respond either to J. Cole. I knew Cole was going to be the first one to jump out.
Yeah, because that's not really his thing. That's not his. You can't expect him to be in
I clowned him, but I knew he would be the first one to jump out because he's the only one of the 3 that I consider to be a purist MC. He's the battle rapper of the 3 of them. He was going to jump out first.
Yeah.
Who he is and how he's addressed every other rapper he's had a beef with, even when he rapped against them, like when he responded to Yachty on KOD.
Yeah.
His heart ain't in disrespecting you. It's, I want better for you. I just don't like this from you.
Yeah, some people aren't meant to get into beefs. And I don't think it even fits his character. So if he was to engage in this shit, I think it would have went almost backwards for him.
Yes, he would have been a regressing. You could see
Kendrick and Drake
wanted this for
getting
years.
into
They wanted it for years.
And it was good. It was really good entertainment. Think about how many millions of people sat around talking about this.
Yes, people cared about rap for the first time in years. That's why I loved it. I don't care who you pick. I might argue with you a little bit, but I really don't care who you pick because it was so debatable. This was the first time Drake had a fair fight. And even though I got Kendrick winning it can go either way because every single song...
Drake wasn't fucking around. He
smoked every song. I'll be real. Heart Part 6 is probably my favorite song out of them.
Yeah.
It's just a clear tap out.
I like that because it was up against Kendrick Lamar, he could never just slack off lyrically neither.
At all.
So like even though
they rapped,
Drake had to come with it, even though that's not even really what's all that popular no more. He had to be like, okay, we got the.
I think everything that Drake said in his closing statement to Kendrick about exercise and needing to get his pen moving, especially with all the ghostwriting allegations, the fact that he had co-writers on push-ups at first.
Yeah.
Like, I think he needed to be challenged in a way to prove that it was worth his time because the last time he tried to flex his pen was Scary Hours 3. I love that project more than the album. Only got talked about for a week. It came and gone like an Eminem project.
I don't even remember that one.
Exactly. But it had a bunch of great
Drake?
songs. Yeah. Red Button, another J. Cole song where they had a much closer fight. Drake is a way better MC than people give him credit for.
Oh, yeah. Drake can go.
Yes, but like nobody.
How much do you think of that is the ghostwriting allegations?
I'll put it like this. I'm going to give Drake a pass until one of his timestamp records has a reference. I think he decided he wanted to touch the kids. Not literally. Not literally.
Possibly.
No, I'm not running with that. I'm not running with that.
Yeah.
But I think Drake made a decision at a certain point in his career that he was at a crossroads. And this is coming from academics, the guy who was dropping all the records, the inside man on Drake and Kendrick's camps.
Yeah.
He said Drake was met at a crossroads. It's either mature with my audience that I can't win with, or target a younger demo in order to make the bag. If you notice, he stopped really hanging out with OGs and he's only around younger artists. He started kicking with Yachty a year before last, right before before All the Dogs album came out. He started hanging out with Lil Baby and Sexy Red and all of these new guys, Four Bats, who Kanye West said was his favorite artist before he ever dropped a song. He got on them first with that EP deal. Then he left and went to Good Music for the album. Like, Drake is really tapped into the underground. I think he buys a bunch of references from guys who are about to pop just because he knows they're about to pop in order to stay close to what's working in the streets.
Yeah, that makes sense because you turn, like, think of Lil Wayne right now.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne is not current.
No, he's not anymore.
But to us, he was like, he
stands next to these kids and sons them. This is the best variation of Rain. Like, when I heard the song he did with Polo G a couple years back.
Oh, that was hard.
Dog, he walked him down crazy to the point of where Polo was like, I've never been walked down before until that. Yeah. Like, that's the best version of Wayne. He's comfortably an OG now. I love this version of Wayne. But he's no longer in that conversation of greatest rapper. It's people who aren't even really great rappers who are in that conversation now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name no names because like I still do this shit. But there's a lot of dudes who would never be mentioned on the Mount Rushmore of pins who are being called GOAT, but can't perform the song live without the beat.
Right. Yeah. That is true. So the studio is the big part of this now. Like,
they are an instrument now.
Yeah, yeah. There's been, no doubt. Me being a guy behind the computer, I know how to, you know what I'm saying? There's songs I probably couldn't perform on my own because, this is how I record in a chair like this with my computer right here with the mic sitting just like this.
Yes. But that's because that's the major part of rap that is missing and why even with ghostwriting allegations or ghostwriting proof, it's not going to tarnish anyone's reputation anymore. What it's come down to is this now. You are part of the instrumentation. You are in the studio making a song. You're not in the studio to rap. So a lot of the elements of rap are gone.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Breath control is dead. They figured out they could punch in and out. They don't give a fuck about performing a song. They're going to have a studio track just high enough. Yes, they're going to have the actual song playing instead of a studio track because they don't have the breath control. They rapped it punching in and dragging the note over the next bar on purpose.
They do that all the time.
Yeah, so they can't perform it live. They literally can't. They haven't practiced it in one take to do it live.
Yeah.
That's not how they learned it.
Yeah. That's 100% real. But like you said, the studio's an instrument. Yes. I always told people, I did tell people, I said that your song should sound better in the studio. Like you would think.
Yes, of course.
Because you can cut corners and you could take advantage of.
You could re-record it and get a better take. Like, there's no reason for the version that's in the studio to not be perfect. But therein lies why rap is so different, because you can practice it till it's picture perfect in the studio, and because of the mixing and the audio effects, the ambience you can add to it, it's going to be more sonically pleasing to hear the song. I don't really like going to shows because the studio version sounds better.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of live performance. It might not necessarily sound as clear, but the impression that you can actually hear somebody hit every note when you hear a singer is, you want to go see that in person because it's art. It's like this. You can watch all of Kobe's highlights at home. It's not the same as seeing him shoot a three-pointer.
Yeah.
You want to be there to see it just because it's poetry. He can actually do it just as well live.
Live, yeah.
That's the real beauty of wanting to go to see a live performer, and that's why I say rap. That's a big part of the art of rap missing, and the writing being there. I have to write verses in a way that I can perform them live, because a lot of my verses, and you've been there, are one take.
Yeah, I've seen you go for 3 minutes.
Yes. It's something that I had to do because of the battle instinct. It's something that makes me more judgy than the general audience, because they don't have an appreciation for it, because the studio version is going to sound better.
Yeah.
That's the reason why performances are dead. You don't really get small venues that get packed anymore. If you're not a stadium artist, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not a live performer type dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't go to concerts or nothing.
I respect it.
Yeah, so it's like,
I fully respect it. Even as a rapper, since I was a kid, I didn't really care to go.
Yeah.
I really be real.
Yeah, so how do you, that's a good question of how do you how do you get to a stadium act if there isn't very much middle ground anymore?
It's the monopoly of business. It's the monopoly of business. Like the music industry has been extortion before there was ever rap. It has been extortionary before there was ever such thing as rap. It's one of those things where, how can I put it? The only way you can really become a stadium artist now is if you either are a good enough marketer and good enough with money management to secure the kind of deals that would give you the money to book your own fucking stadium. Because at that point, they care more about who you are than what you do. They're coming out for Beyonce no matter what song she sings because Beyonce is Beyonce now.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Drake is Drake now. Like a big part of the debate back to the battle was how can Drake lose when he's still the number one artist in the world?
Yeah.
Because they didn't care whose song was better. You see what I'm saying? The zeitgeist of general human consumption is consumerism. Like Nike is Nike, not because Nike is the best shit. It's because it's Nike.
Because it's Nike.
That check means something.
Yeah.
The UA on Under Armour, that means something. They know how much you paid for that. That's the reason why designer brands are everywhere. Like I'll tell you, like these are Taylor Ports. If you're a hype beast, you already know what the fuck they are. It's one of those things where the human zeitgeist, they don't have the time to sift through things. So anything that's recognizable, the more recognizable it is, that's what they're going to rate the quality of it is. That's the reason why you'll never not see a McDonald's.
Yeah, you'll never not see a McDonald's.
What I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's definitely not because of the quality of the food. 100%.
It's because they've been marketing in a way for so long and they've changed with the times effectively enough to where they're never going to be outside of just part of what the culture is. It doesn't have to promote anymore. It just does.
Yeah. You don't even have to see McDonald's commercials anymore, really.
You know what the fuck the Golden Arches are?
Yeah, you know what that is. Yeah, no, and it's all over the world, too.
Yes. Like they have a regional McDonald's. They have a McShrimp in China.
A McShrimp.
They have the McShrimp in China. Yes,
that's probably fire.
It's a fish patty, but it's made of shrimp instead of fish.
Oh wow!
Yes, like they have that.
Yeah, you're hearing it here first. The McShrimp.
I go through worm. I'll do a deep dive of some shit. I'll get some questions about some shit, then I'll come back with information I wasn't looking for.
Yeah. So you were saying a minute ago, trying to think of where my brain was going when you were saying that. We were talking about going from this
the studio
to that.
Oh yeah,
and then, man, it's a wild thing now because wouldn't you say that to be successful now, you have to be a content creator that does something.
Yes.
So you're a content creator almost first.
Yes.
And then you're a rapper.
That's 100% true. Back to Cardi B. We knew her for her personality before she ever made Bodak Yellow. Bodak Yellow was just the one that made us take her serious.
Yeah.
Because she had mixtapes out beforehand. Like my friend Ellie out in Connecticut was a huge fan of Cardi B.
Really?
Yes. Like she tried to put me on before Bodak Yellow was a thing back in like 2016. Shout out to her. But yeah, like you have to be a content creator first. ISO Kenny is a guy who makes TikToks. He's a great artist, but like the songs are always a concept, and he makes them a TikTok before he drops the actual music video on his YouTube page.
I see that a lot.
He's great at it. He's so talented that the TikTok is just a snippet of the song with the concept of the song as like POV, this.
Yeah.
And it always fucking works. He's good. But because I think of songwriting from the old school sense, I think of it as making the whole album is a thought.
Yeah.
The whole album is a thought, and I'm giving you pieces of it. It's like the score to a movie when I put an album together. Yeah. So since I'm not thinking,
have like the chapters and stuff.
Yes, like it's literally in phases. There's interludes, there's segue music, there's beat switches. It's meant to play out as one thing. Because I think like that, even if I know the song that's going to work in the algorithm, that I don't have the content mind to publish it in a way that is just easy to consume because I need you to hear this whole fucking verse.
Yeah, you want to hear. Yeah, you want to hear. Yeah, you want them to hear the whole creation.
Yes.
And to be on TikTok is to almost accept that you're giving them just a segment.
It's hors d'oeuvres. Like it's like charcuterie. That shit could be fire as hell, but you're just getting a piece here and a piece there.
Yeah.
You have to really.
I just learned what charcuterie was the other day. Mm-hmm. That's like the little food,
the finger foods,
finger food on the
cheese
and stuff. Yeah. Charcuterie. What a word.
I still say that shit wrong. Like I've said charcuterie before.
Hey, I need to play that charcuterie.
Oh my god,
that is finger food, but
it is. Relax. Relax. But okay, back to the actual question of how to go from just a club or something like that into a stadium. I mentioned the organic way because that's basically how Russ did it. The guy from the
Oh yeah, I know Russ.
That's how he
Russ
did it. He put out a song a week until he got popping.
Yeah.
Brilliant marketing. He knew how short their attention span was. He basically did what I would have done if I thought of it first. I used to do something called Ink Gang Weekly. I was putting out 80 bars on a classic beat every week on Thursday.
Golly.
I did that for 2 years.
Damn. Like every week?
It was exercise for me. I loved to rap.
It was just working out. Yeah.
I had a smooth 40 at least every week on Thursday for almost 2 years straight. I wasn't even the first one to do that. Crooked Eye used to do it. But
I like Crooked Eye.
Man,
yeah,
great rap.
Because I remember when they had the group together.
Yeah, Slaughterhouse was great.
Slaughterhouse was crazy. Then like them and Eminem, that was crazy.
It was. I still listen to the XV Cypher every now and then. In the Shady 2.0 Cypher.
Shady 2.0 Cypher.
I will never stop saying that. Yeah. I will never stop saying that.
Yeah, that's Royce. Yeah, Royce is hard. Bro. Yes. Royce is so hard.
Hey, no, y'all might not know that. Y'all might not understand it because y'all not going to have the attention span to go sit and listen to it. But Royce is a top 4 all-time pen.
Oh, Royce
top
is ridiculous.
Top 4 all-time pen.
Did you, what was it, Welcome to Hell? Him and Eminem, that whole album was insane. That was in a time where we just like worshiped that complex shit.
That wasn't even, and what's crazy is wasn't Royce anywhere near his peak. Like, I'll even admit this as somebody who's openly somewhat anti-Eminem. Eminem smoked him most of that album.
Yeah,
Eminem kicked his ass most of that album.
Let's talk about this then. Let's talk about this. This sounds like some fun talk. Because somebody told me that you didn't like Eminem, or I saw you post something about this.
I think he's a great technical writer, but I think he's missing a piece of himself because he don't go outside no more. Yeah.
So, all right. So classic Eminem.
Yes.
Do you have an issue with 1990s, early 2000s Eminem?
No.
Okay, that makes 100% sense to me. Recent Eminem, no, that makes sense.
I think this is what I say because I never say Eminem sucks. I say Eminem needs to retire. There's a difference.
So did you see the whole Houdini thing?
Yes, I think, and I understood exactly what he did as soon as I heard it. Before I heard it, because I heard the line where he was making fun of Meg.
Yeah, can I get a shot at the feet?
Yes,
that's a hard line though.
It's not a bad line. I'm not gonna hate on it. I said it was him trying to capture the name of my band back when he did troll rapping all the time. And I understand that's part of this concept where he's killing that person off. Like, at this point, he doesn't go outside to live anymore, so all he's doing is concept music. That's where Making a Murder was from, where there's a murder mystery theme to it, like who got killed. Now we're seeing that the death of Slim Shady, he's killing the Slim Shady character. And he's been working on that concept since the end of Slim Shady LP2, where he made Evil Twin. That's what he's been doing for the last 8 years? Yeah, he's been working on the concept of these two individual people who are the same and are not the same.
Right.
And he's trying to kill that part of himself. He's been doing that for 8 years.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of, that was, as a matter of fact, I'll even say this too, Marshall Mathers LP2 was actually the last Eminem albums that I liked.
Yeah.
And it was because of that ending concept. I listened to that song to this day.
I almost checked out after like Recovery, dude.
A lot of people would have, and I'll tell you why. He's afraid of the pressures of going outside, and he thinks that'll be the main thing that'll make him backslide. I think he's afraid to go out there and live again because living up to that standard gave him the drug addiction because he was on painkillers throughout the whole 8 Mile process.
Yeah.
Like,
what a great fucking movie. I was just making sure you didn't not like old Eminem. Bro, we was going to have to really throw down. Like
the syllable shit I do, a lot of people say I sound like Eminem. I say I learned it from Crooked Eye just because of the smoothness of the cadence. I say I learned it from people like Royce, people like Rakim. But because Eminem is so synonymous with it, it can't be escaped. When you have that type of impact to where something that you didn't make is now synonymous with you, that says something.
Yeah.
So like I can't take anything from Eminem's lineage. I think only he can because at this point I think he really does need to shut up.
He could stop.
Yeah.
He could have stopped in 2010 maybe. He could have stopped at like Recovery and we could have been, oh look, he turned out good.
And I think he still had potential to. He still clearly has his ear to the streets of what real rappers are. He signed Griselda and did nothing with them. He signed Slaughterhouse and then made them make an Eminem album. That's the real reason why him and Joe were beefing.
Yeah. Yeah, because they fell out too.
Yes, because he had
Budden can be a good rapper. Yeah.
I like Budden for the introspectiveness more than just his lyrical ability. He was my favorite rapper at a time when I was having drug problems.
Would you say he's a better podcaster than rapper?
He's clearly far more successful at it because he knows how to play a villain. I think he knows how to milk a negative reaction to his benefit because he's done it for so long.
Yeah.
He was the blueprint for love and hip hop. A lot of people won't give him credit for that. But back when rappers were supposed to be mysterious, he had Joe Budden TV, where it was him and Tahiri arguing, fist fighting, him being on dust, him going to the bodega and arguing with the clerk because they don't want to give him the price that he want. Like him buying a car, crashing a car, chasing a kid for trolling him over a Drake opinion. Like Joe was the blueprint that Love and Hip Hop used until they finally brought him on Love and Hip Hop. So like, I think he's been a better personality than an MC for his entire career.
Yeah,
because I think if I didn't like him, I wouldn't care about his story. Being honest.
Yeah.
Because his whole music is his story. He's the reason why I kind of make the music I make now, and he's the reason why Drake sounded how he sounded in the early stages. Drake was a huge Joe fan. If you go back to before Room for Improvement, his first mixtape, he dissed some guy named Corey or something like that. He was using Joe Budden's flow right down to the drawn out syllables from Pump It Up. Like,
yeah.
There's several interviews where he admits it too, but he had to stop doing that for the money. He switched over and started rhyming more like Wayne and Tyga.
Yeah, and that was probably a good move for him.
Yeah, financially it was the move.
Yeah, because that's more of the mainstream.
Yes, financially it was the move. Plus, that was who he was signed to. If he didn't kind of fit into the mold, I understand that they have the right to shelf you. A lot of times, the early success of every artist on their debut album is the fault of the label, not themselves. So if he wasn't next to Wayne at that time, he would have put out a Joe Budden album.
Yeah.
He didn't get to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah, it was a good thing that he went that way, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, financially, it's the move because Joe never came above where he peaked at with Pump It Up.
Yeah, Pump It Up. And then
Slaughterhouse
was almost like coming down, huh?
Slaughterhouse was a down for him. Like, Joe, to this day on Pump It Up, like, that was a gold record before he had a gold album.
Yeah.
That, to this day, you'll still hear that at every HBCU at a game. It's in every 2K game still. Like, that song makes him money to this day. But it's this only known upbeat record.
Yeah.
And we got to thank Def Jam for that. They put him in the studio with Just Blaze. In fact, funny story. This goes to Joe just being a better podcaster than he was a rapper. He told this hilarious story about the beef he had with Jay-Z behind the scenes for years. And it was because of the Pump It Up beat. It was meant to be the Rock La Familia Anthem Part 2 beat.
Oh, really?
Jay didn't like it. Joe heard it and said, yo, I'm taking it. Jay-Z took the beat back, and since he did the executive producing for a 2K game, he put his freestyle in it instead of the Joe verse, and it's a Joe diss. Calls him Sean Bradley.
God dang.
I know, he's just been getting, it's hilarious to me.
So what's your thoughts on Jay-Z? As far as like, where does he fit? Because there's people out there that'll be like, well, Jay-Z's the best. And I've always struggled with.
I think a lot of people struggle with Jay-Z music. I don't think it's one of those things where I didn't understand it and didn't appreciate it at all until like 2017. When I got to the point of realizing that as much as I love rap, I still have to make music that people care about, but I still want to make it sound like me. That's when I started appreciating old Jay. But old Jay, like now, he made an introspective album with 44-4. He talked about possible infidelity with his wife. He touched on how he managed to maintain business, the mentality that he has, like on Story of OJ. Like, I don't think his music is meant to be listened to on a regular basis like most people's songs are. I think, like I mentioned before about how I try to make my album sound like a score.
Yeah.
It's an experience that you have to be willing to sit through. I don't think people
can going to watch a movie every once in a while.
People ain't sitting through and watching To Pimp a Butterfly straight through anymore, but that's how it's meant to be heard.
Yeah, to get the full effect of that one, you have to listen to like every song, and even in the order, really. Yeah.
Kendrick's last album, people are going to shit on because it came at a time when the time for being able to listen to an album as a whole piece instead of song by song for the ones you like and that fit into an algorithm died. It's literally To Pimp a Butterfly 2. If you like that one, you should like this one. So I think it's just a matter of Jay and people like Kendrick, people like me, people like Joe. I think we made music that wasn't meant to just be sonically pleasing, but was meant to make you feel something. And a lot of people don't like a dark feeling.
Yeah.
They want something that's going to make them dance. They want music that makes them feel good. Matter of fact, I forget who it was, but a famous old school music producer, like from the Motown era. He said, I look for 3 things in a record and I know I got a hit. Can I bob my head to it?
Yeah.
Can I sing along? Can I dance? If you got those, that's what makes it a hit. You might not want to sing along to something that's depressing.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get into it.
Man. Yeah, it's a consumer world though.
Yes.
And the way we consume now is so different. You almost you have to do it the new way to get people to get it, because people are picking and grabbing. They're in like an orchard, and they're just like, well, there's an apple tree over here. Well, I'll take one peach off this tree. I'll take a pear off this tree. But
that's the reason why being an elitist is kind of pointless to an extent when it comes to how big of a fan you are of anything. As much as we are elitist when it comes to music because we're musicians, every rapper that we really love, they might not even really be great rappers, or we didn't care about them being great rappers when we loved them. Tupac was the greatest of a generation and had that generational impact because he touched people. Yeah. It wasn't just because, not to say he isn't a great rapper, but
Tupac is decent, even by newer standards.
He's still better than most of these kids that are coming out now, even back when I used to hate on him. But he managed to make music that reached people, even that was depressing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He managed to manipulate the zeitgeist to what he wanted it to be and died on that high note. You see what I'm saying? Versus Biggie, who came out with the tough gangster rap on his first album, but then glossed it up with Diddy in the second album. And that's the one that blew him up before he finally passed. Like, not taking anything away from Biggie. I think Biggie raps better than Pac. But when I listen to that...
You think Biggie's a better rapper than Pac?
From an MC standpoint. Yeah. Like, you give him that mic, you give Pac this mic, by the end of it, you're going to think Biggie rapped better. But if you put on their anthology, if you just play both of their albums back to back,
yeah,
Pac's winning.
Yeah, Pac wins the versus battle,
and that's
for sure.
And that's why I also say I don't
think there's a ton of people a ton of different rappers, and you could put them in that same type of situation, and you would say if you let him go, you would say he's a better rapper. Yes. But if you put then you start measuring hits. Yes. Like no, bro, definitely wins the versus.
That was the point that I was making earlier. I think it was off camera about Kendrick versus Drake when it comes to how their notoriety works. Kendrick has more Grammys than Wayne and Drake put together. He has more Grammys than Young Money. But he has less songs out than Drake has number ones.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like there's a polarity there. Like if the musicians are judging the music and you rank, and because of that you care about the Grammys, that tells you where Kendrick is in terms of his songwriting and his lyrics. But when it comes to the zeitgeist of people, the one that people feel or just the algorithm feel, Drake is making the more sonically pleasing music.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I agree with that. Oh man. So, what do you do? What do you do nowadays? If you're a guy that's it's like, all right, do you compromise almost?
I'll say this: there's room for organic music, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. As a 33-year-old guy who, if you put anybody in that chair, they'll leave not thinking they can rap anymore. That doesn't matter to the people watching. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't. So, whereas I'm not saying that you need to compromise. What I'm saying is you need to grow up a little bit. You're resting your head on your pen, and I rest my head on my pen. I might not be cocky on anything else in this world, but if it comes to putting words together on paper, I promise you, you can't tell me shit about who's nice or not. But I'm sitting here, having been rapped just as long, been in the same room as people like Kendrick Lamar, and didn't get his results. It's one guy who can do that at the top, two at the most, sometimes less than that, depending on what the game wants. Right now, we're lucky enough to have a Kendrick Lamar making the beautiful art he makes, and a J. Cole MC.
J. Cole and Kendrick still.
But then we still have a guy who can go with them that does the P. Diddy music, the Drake. There's room for all of it. You don't have to be the replacement for Styles P to be an MC. You got to find your own individual voice, and that's the only way they really gonna care. And on the outro of my last album, Reminder, I had a sound bite from Joe Budden where he said, "You can't make me make this. You can tell me a million different reasons why this should be pushed, but if I don't make it, it's not coming out because whatever you put out there is going to be a reflection of what the universe gives you back. If I come out with some drill shit, I'm inviting the same demon that got King Von.
Yeah, true.
I don't want that in my life, even if it means money.
Yeah.
So if you're going to compromise, you got to decide right now if you really just want to make the money in the music industry and this is what you want to do. There's going to be compromise in that no matter what, because there's always compromise when it comes to, I need this to work for me to win. There has to be compromise there. There's no room for ego there except for in success.
Yeah.
If you're an artist, fuck that and do the music that you want to do, because if you build it, they will come. Just be unafraid to push it, even using some of the corny methods.
Yeah, I think that might be the answer to it. I think you could keep the I think that where your compromise will probably have to be at is in marketing.
Yes, my compromise is
how
marketing.
you get people to come, like, and maybe even trying to trick them into seeing the whole movie.
I've even tried before. Like, I actually had a TikTok challenge for my biggest song from back this outside, the one we recorded here.
Yeah.
I made a TikTok challenge. It worked. That was my first successful single since converting to streaming, because I had a trick for the algorithm. They were using the song to make the challenge. It wasn't about the record no more. And the hook was catchy enough for them to think it was a Pop Smoke song.
Yeah, because it did sound...
Yeah, like I had to trick people to an extent, and I'm willing to do that now because I know what works. That's the reason why I do R&B music now. It's the only time I can calm my pen down. If there's a beat that makes me want to rap, I'm a fucking rap because I'm an artist first.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, man, you almost had to fight your... I don't know. I wouldn't, but yeah, I wouldn't fight your urges because that's not, because then you're not you lyrically, like not lyrically, but mute. Like,
yes, I'm not going to have the same hunger for that. I'd fall off. I'd actually fall off. The music quality would fall off. Shout out my boy Rasta. He kept it a beam with me. My last song that did 20K was the fastest song to ever reach 20K. I sent it to him before it came out. I already had the plan. I had the music video shot, all of it. You know what he said?
What did he say?
This is a C+. You don't sound like you tried. And I needed that. I really did need that because he's right. I wrote that shit in my car on the interstate. I was just listening to the beat. My mans was in the car. Lil Pat and Rio was in the back. In fact, I think we was coming to drop Rio off at the studio session here. They were just running behind. But yeah, I was driving with them. I'm backed up on the interstate on I-30 underneath Richmond Road Bridge, typing this shit up, playing it around, like freestyling it like we was in the studio. I didn't try. He was right. I needed that. And I think that's the reason why it took so long to start recording again.
But that's the one that worked, though.
Yes, and did. It hurt my feelings that it worked because I knew it would work, but I know how to play the algorithm game. I know playlist-friendly music.
Yeah.
At this point, my last 4 albums all have 50K a piece in just organic streams, not doing any paid ads, not having a marketing budget outside of the music videos, just an idea and a rollout. Because at this point, I have a core audience that is coming with me now, no matter where I go. But if I did the algorithm games outside of that one song and I did it for an entire album straight, I would have had a gold year. I would have had a gold album by now. Like I would have had 500K streams. I just can't do that for an extended period of time, even if I need something as a main attraction. Yeah. Just being honest.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm. I can't post every day on Instagram, and I'm on Instagram every day. I just can't make myself do it.
Yeah, I post almost every day on like probably 8 different deals between 2 YouTube channels.
I need a media manager.
Yeah, me too. I need one bad because I'm doing because I shoot the podcast. I have 2 different shows. I'm doing all the editing. I'm doing all I'm cutting up into clips. I'm doing everything. I'm posting. And I have a business that I run that isn't this.
Yeah, I remember because the last time I was supposed to be here a couple of weeks ago, you had to work. Yeah, I remember.
And so, I mean, this is like took over my life. But that's what it takes almost. Like you just have to just give up like a part of yourself to do what you want.
You have to really be a content creator to be a musician now, unless you already are in a position where the music can do its own thing and you have a team doing it for you.
Yeah, but I think it's the same with, that's why I think you're a content creator first and then whatever, because I have to be a content creator before a podcaster even.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Because with podcasting, if they don't know that you posted anything, they're not going to come. So they
don't know who you are.
They even need to know what it is you're talking about, even if they know who you are, to know if they're going to click on that episode. You dead right. You dead right.
So there's people that's seen me probably in 20, 30 clips now that still may not have clicked yet.
Yeah.
And so it's like I just have to keep showing you myself.
Fact.
Just have to keep showing you myself. And some of the clips are funny. So a lot of times, like funny kills, bro.
Yes, it does.
But interesting is also cool. So there's like this balance of like because one show is really like this show is really like, okay, let's be interesting. And I do try to slide the funny in there. Like we've cracked a couple jokes today.
Of course.
But like, then the other show, we just act the ass.
Yeah.
And so like I get the funny clips and I get the like interesting clips. But it's, oh man, but it is taking over my life, 100%.
I think, and that's another problem that I have with marketing too, because even in my personal training stuff, I make a great visual. I do good graphics. I treat every program that I've written like an album. It has to be something that I would follow because I know it's true to form. My issue isn't even with making the content because I understand the concept of being a content creator first. My problem is I want that shit to be a smash or I'm not posting it. I'm not just posting because.
Yeah. And man, this daily stuff, bro. Sometimes I'll post a clip and I'm like, man, there's not enough meat on this, but it's like the algorithm wants me to keep on posting. So like, okay, we might post this. It may only get 500 plays or something on TikTok, but the consistency, when I do post that one, I posted one the other day, got like 120,000 views, and it was a goofy ass clip.
And that's another reason why the algorithm trick that I do with those songs work. I know how short of a song it needs to be for it to be loopable.
Yeah.
That's the issue too. So all you need is a catchy enough part to use in a reel.
Yeah.
And then for the song to be short enough to loop. Right now, people were angry in rap when the third verse died. There's only one now.
Oh yeah, there's not even a second verse no more. But but like what you're saying, like, so the song that just broke all the records recently, it's not even a rap song. Post Malone, Morgan Wallen come together. Now this song came out on TikTok probably 3 weeks before. And it was like, oh my God, these two are coming together. So you hear the sound on TikTok. You hear the sound. There's like millions of billions of times you hear that.
They're promoting that shit like a motion picture.
Yeah, and when it dropped, they broke like all the records of like first day streaming almost on this one song between these two guys.
I'm going to give you some game on that too. Because I've played, I'm going to let at my MCs who don't know how to market, please tune in on this one because this is actually going to be good. That's an algorithm trick called retroactive streaming. What they do is, they can put up a reel or something on TikTok that'll say pre-save here. And then once that song drops, that'll take all of the plays from TikTok and the Instagram with that sound once it retroactively finds it and identifies that this is the song. And those go towards the streaming numbers. If I put out a single today that does 20K and that same single with the same IVS number goes out on that album drops with that number of streams before they ever actually open the album.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've done that mad times. I'm letting y'all know now. Your album streams on Spotify go song to song. If they click one song, that's a stream for the album.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's the reason why people have making longer and longer albums with shorter and shorter songs.
Yeah. So you click through like Morgan Wallen, 30 songs on his last album.
Yes.
And he was like #1 on the country music charts for months.
Fucking Lil Baby's last album. It wasn't even a super long album by the terms of what is a long album now. It was 24 songs and 22 of them were covering the first 20 on the Billboard for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, 24 songs is a lot though.
Yes, it is. I'm not denying. That's a lot of songs.
Yeah, because the EP is like 6 songs. So that's 4 EPs.
And I don't even like the identification. Like the EP is a dead thing now.
I think that's dead too.
Yeah. Now they do. Now, because I think that was a Kanye thing. Because he did this rollout where everybody in good music was putting out an album a week after each other, and they were all only 7 tracks long. So, like, I think at that point now, there's this new thing called a pack, which is similar to the EP. What it is a lead single and then 2 samples. Somebody who was ahead of the pack game was Drake on this one. It was the Scary Hours. The first Scary Hours was a 2-pack. Then he did Scary Hours 3, the one with Wants and Needs with the Lil Baby song. That was the 3-pack. Packs have replaced the EP because they don't want to give you that much of the project unless they're going to give you a whole project. And then if one song hits, it goes on the album.
It goes, Sheesh.
It's just a way to manipulate how many numbers land. Back to the Cardi B conversation. That's the other reason why she hasn't dropped another album, honestly. I think she hasn't seen the return on the streams of these songs to compete with Bodak Yellow. I think that's the only reason why she even did the Bodak Yellow freestyle recently. I think she's trying to go viral with a record and hasn't.
Yeah.
I think she's scared of not being... I also think she's scared of not having another classic after 5 years.
Yeah, man, you go that long with that. And she doesn't necessarily have to as far as like, there is no like...
She's bigger than her music. She was bigger than her music when that classic came out.
Yeah.
Who cares? They just want an album. Rihanna's never dropping another album again. She'll drop another Kid and another Fenty line first. But that's because she likes the fact that she's bigger than her music now.
Yeah.
She likes that she's bigger than her music.
Yeah, we'll probably never get another one. But if she did, it'd probably smash though.
Oh my
because
God,
people go crazy for it. Like,
I'm first in line and I'm fighting somebody for the poster.
You a big Rihanna fan?
That's the way to phrase it. Not a big Rihanna music fan, a big Rihanna fan.
You like her? Yeah.
I like Rihanna.
But I ain't gonna lie, throughout times, I have gravitated towards people sometimes more than their music. And then you fall in love with this person. And then it's like, okay, well, show me all their music. I want to see what they do.
Yeah.
But I think that's why people have always been more curious about what people are outside of the music. And that's why we have TikTok. That's why we have all this. Yes, you do this, but what do you do?
How can I be more like you so I can have it?
Yeah.
But that's the reason why there's still heroism. Even linking it to fitness. The biggest dude in the room at your local gym probably don't know shit. But because he's the biggest guy in your local gym, you think he has some special sauce that made him that way and he can teach it to you. Like,
and it's just roids.
yes.
I'm just playing. But is that really what it is?
More often, I'll say this. If he's in this general area, like in Texarkana, yeah, there's a lot of roid use. And it's pretty openly discussed at this point. But let's say in the olden days when the big guy could sell you anything before there was product reviews and pharmacology, right? That guy probably would have been big no matter what he did. Phil Heath was a big proprietor of minimalist roid use because he believed, hey, if I wasn't already the biggest dude in the room, when I stack on the extra, I'm still not going to be the biggest next to the guy who already has his extra on. He compared it to Dragon Ball Z. He's like, if you have no base form, I don't care how strong your Super Saiyan is. I'm going to blow past you when I transform.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the biggest guy in the room is genetically superior to you, period.
It's just genes.
Yes, a lot of times, like, don't get me wrong, steroids will take you to a level that you can't get to naturally. So the biggest guy who's naturally buff, the best natural genetics might not beat the best steroid cycle. But he's going to beat him without the best steroid cycle because it took that to get him to the point of where he beat this guy. The guys at the top don't need to do nearly as much as the guy right behind him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I'll even compare it to music again. What I do when I rap is something that I don't think about. I tell people all the time, like, dog, I don't be trying when I rap like this. It falls out of me at this point. If it feels like 80%, it's because I enjoyed the beat that much because I ride off momentum. I get better as I continue to rap because the ideas start flowing at that point. But that's just where I sit. That's where my mental state is at. Somebody who has to try to reach it might have a better verse than me, but he can't keep up for that long. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I meant about sit somebody in that chair, give us 20 minutes of a beat looped. He's going to stop rapping before I run out of shit to say. So in that same regard, yes, the big guy in the gym, he was going to be big like that no matter what he did. I have a friend in Hope, Alex. Dude's 21 and 225. He don't take supplements. He don't eat the way he should. He's just a monster with work ethic. You put a needle in that guy's shoulder, he could be C-Bum. If you don't know who C-Bum is, he's the guy who's won all of the Olympics. But yes, he's one of those guys that's just special genetically. He don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But he's also super Christian. Everything is God given for him. But I say that's just his gift. That was his blessing. Yeah. He's also stupid athletic. He's just genetically superior to people.
There would be kids at school, I remember, like around like 9th to 10th grade. Yes. And like they didn't do nothing, bro.
But they already
come into the locker like we're changing the football room. Not like you're looking around the football room, but you just like you see the guy beside you and he's just like fucking ripped and he don't even lift weights. And you're just like, bro, how?
There's genetics. Exactly. And his family genetically blessed. I've seen some of his cousins. Like he was a chubbier guy when he was younger, just like me. But like I said, he also had the work ethic. As a 17-year-old, he squatted 500.
Sheesh.
See what I'm saying?
It's
like
hard to think of numbers like that. 500.
As a 17-year-old, like he's just built different. He's just built different.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that big guy in the gym, he don't know shit. He just was always going to be that.
Damn. But he did have to show up every day.
Of course. He still had to show up and put the work in. It's just the people who are genetically blessed, they can do it wrong and see better results than somebody who's doing it by the book perfect.
We are complex as humans, though. I'm sure you've seen that as you've studied like fitness. Fitness really proves the like how much complexity is going on in our bodies all the time. Because like as an average person, you're not thinking about fitness or whatever. You're just walking around. You're not thinking about all the like almost millions of things our body is doing constantly. And just like,
if I could make an analogy, I'd say a human's body is every bit as complex as a car. And all of the things that are wrong with our temperament are the warning signals going off.
Yeah, but even a car though doesn't, because you still have to put things in. Well, I guess we still put food in us, but like, still,
that's our oils, that's our fluids.
Yeah. But man, we operate like all the time.
It's true. We don't actually shut off at all. We don't shut off at all. And that's the real reason. Like, I don't know if you want to get real into it, but if you've ever seen like the Joe Rogan Experience and they talk about how to age and de-age.
I listen to Joe Rogan 4 times a week,
bro. The way there was an episode where he was talking about the aging and de-aging process. The fact that we never shut off is the reason why we actually age beyond the point of where our body stops growing. We do have a genetic peak, and then we have a fall off. How slow the fall off is determined by how well we took care of it in our 20s. That's how you really elongate your life outside of just happenstance.
Yeah, taking care of it while you're young. So like if you're listening, you're young, you want to live long, like now is the time to like
put the pill down.
Yeah, fix the bullshit. Yeah.
Yes. Like, and think about it is when you're youngest, that's when you're at your most durable because you're building up how it can take. Like how can I put it? If you build a computer from scratch, you know exactly what the computer is going to be built for. So everything that you're fine tuning it for before it's completely assembled is setting it up to be what it's going to be. That's mentally, that's physically, that's all of that. So people who played sports at a young age, they built a body that was going to be better built genetically and could last longer so long as they didn't start treating it like shit and paid attention to the signals. The signals normally don't start going off.
The signals then like you were saying earlier, like when your check engine light comes on, we have things like that. Like my knee starts hurting even to this day. Like I know it's enough basketball. I say that. I ran a 10K this weekend. Shout out to the 10K. Won like an animal, and I didn't even really train for it because I'm a beast. No, I'm just playing. Don't let me hype myself up. No, it was
that. Ego's good.
No, actually, I actually won my division, but I lost to a lady. This lady was fast.
Oh yeah,
bro.
I believe it. They be scatting,
man. But 6 miles, and so like I really didn't train for it or nothing. I just kind of just get out there, and I played a ton of basketball,
of course.
So that was Saturday. Yesterday, they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we're hooping so and so 3:30." I was like, "Man, I can't miss it." So I show up and hoop 3.5 hours, full court, 5-on-5. I ran 6 miles yesterday at a race pace. Today. I feel like I ignored the warning signals that we were talking about, bro. I'm hurting.
And that's where it goes left for most people. The warning signs, a car actually has a manual. You can look up what the warning sign is.
Right.
The warning signs in people might not even necessarily be something as obvious as inflammation. It could be something as minute as I'm not sleeping good anymore. It could be as minute as I'm more irritable than usual. A lot of times you can have even temperament so long as everything inside of you is aligned properly. People who have a good running body and learn how to discipline themselves to get their body in order tend to be able to be more successful in life just because they learn how to push past limits. The problem in pushing past limits versus hitting a wall is that the wall ain't gonna fucking budge.
Yeah.
So we keep running with the bad sleep and the bad mood and they get intensified.
You'll crash out.
That's your body saying something needs to be done.
That's literally what happened with the studio. I had a physical effect to the way I was doing the studio. And the studio was successful.
Yeah.
But it started hurting me, like my mind, my body, like the not sleeping, the drinking. That's why I had to quit drinking. I quit drinking January 1st. I know people are 2023.
Salute.
Yeah. So and people are probably tired of me hearing you talk about it. I say that a lot. But anyways, because of what it was doing, like, drinking habitually is terrible for your rims. You don't get into your rim. It raises your cortisol levels when you're not drinking. So that's why that first sip of alcohol feels so relaxing, is because you've raised your stress levels up when you're not drinking.
Yes.
And so you feel like you're chilling when you drink a beer every day because you're more stressed every day because you drink beer in the evenings. Yes,
you're priming yourself for it. You're looking forward to the next beer so you can get your reset.
Yeah,
it's replaced natural dopamine release.
Yes,
of course. Like it's how addiction works in general. If something feels good to you, even if you don't like the experience of it, the mental effect will make you keep doing it.
Yeah, until you hit the wall.
Exactly.
And I hit a wall. I was about 30 pounds heavier when I quit. So when I quit the studio, I was about 30 pounds heavier. Drinking every day. I was doing like 6 to 10 hours in the studio every day.
That's a lot.
In the cave. There's no lights.
Yeah.
And I was at the other place and there damn sure wasn't no lights.
Nah, because it was just the red shit in there. It was dark.
Yeah. And so like, I don't know. I wasn't getting enough sunlight. I just had my son. So like, even when I would sleep, our sleep schedule was completely screwed up. There was too much danger around me as far as these rappers. Yes. And then like I moved to a public place. So every day I was just so stressed. I was like, damn, if somebody going to go outside and smoke weed at the front door, like that seems to be like such a crime, like a what do you call a crime that doesn't?
A victimless crime.
That seems like such a victimless crime, but that's going to affect me with my landlords and with my neighbors. Then like when somebody pulls up with loud music on or comes in without a shirt.
With that in mind, I apologize because I've definitely done that outside of the old spots.
Yes. But I mean, and I get it because it does seem like a victimless crime, but like on the back end for me, it's like, okay, I've got these Christian people right beside me that run the pizza place.
Yeah.
I've got the nail guy beside me he's like a foreigner. He's from a different country. He's super uptight about how shit is anyway.
He's scared of shit.
Yeah. And so like so all that to say, I was ignoring just like we're talking, I was ignoring the warning signs until I crashed. I'm talking about anxiety so bad that I just stopped going to work. There was a month where I just stayed home and I would just keep my son. Like me and him would just be at the house. And luckily I took care of my money at least.
Yeah.
And we were good, and I worked for myself. So I had to take a whole month off. And then I decided, so I went to the doctor. I told him I'm having panic attacks all the time. He was like, okay, well, we'll put you on medicine. I was like, oh, my family has a problem with medicines, So I was like, but anyways, he gave me like a low dosage of like seasonal depression shit. I took one of them. Something was not right in my spirit about it.
I feel it.
Only took one, never took another one again. I said, because I read on the label, it was like, whatever you do, don't stop drinking. If you drink every day, don't stop drinking because while you're taking this.
Oh no, that's ridiculous.
But that's it could cause a major shift.
Yeah, I got you.
Because that's a major.
Because it's changing your circadian rhythm, but your body does every day. I get it. That makes sense.
And so here's what happened with me. I said, and this is the best decision I ever made. I will say that and I may have probably said this before. Best decision I ever made. Not that medicine, maybe not the solution for some people, but for me. I looked in the mirror one day in like mid panic attack and was like, I have to change my lifestyle first.
Yes.
Let me try to change my lifestyle first. And then if that doesn't work, then we'll try medicine.
That's brilliant. That's the route that I wish more people took. Because my favorite quote as of recently, and I'm probably going to get it tatted on me, is the best love is discipline. If you don't love yourself enough to say no, then you can't be trusted with yes.
Damn. Yeah, that's real. That's super real.
It's true. If you can't tell that person no, you're not loving yourself enough to make them do the right decision.
Yeah.
Like, no is a talent. So yeah, you deciding to fix what you were doing with yourself first, kudos, because that'll get you farther than relying on anything else ever will. Exercise,
diet, cutting out beer, no panic attacks.
Facts.
There are triggers and I do like every once in a while, but what I do is I fuck a trigger, bro. Like if I feel like something's gonna trigger me, then I just go do the fuck something else.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I care about myself more than to put myself in some situation that may trigger something. But like, man, almost completely gone. It took like 3 months. Obviously quit drinking was awful.
Of course.
For 2 months for sure.
That was just, because like you said, it was your circadian rhythm. You were set to do that. So like your body was missing it. It was a withdrawal type of thing. Not a literal withdrawal, but basically.
It felt like a withdrawal.
Facts.
I was sweat.
I tell people all the time, I've gone through withdrawals from marijuana. Like, I don't smoke weed anymore. I don't. At least not to the same extent that I used to. I'm only human. But I noticed in the first like week or so, super irritable, super short, super analytical. Like too in my head. I wasn't feeling people no more.
Right.
It takes a minute. It takes a minute.
Yeah, just like you can't overlook certain things. You just get stuck on them.
Yes, like I got to the point of where I was bickering. And like, and I'm an argumentative person. I'll be real. I'm combative. I've been a debater most of my life just because I was that guy who could make myself right a lot just because I could outthink the person in front of me.
Yeah.
But that negative, regressive part of me came out when I stopped smoking or when I take a break from smoking. So like, I don't need it anymore. It's not something that I think about. It's something I might do on occasion here and there.
Yeah.
But it was more trouble than it was worth.
Yeah. Because even like debating, even like being a good debater, like I don't want to say morally, but like
you have to be willing to make someone else feel crazy. If you're good at debating with people, you're probably a prosecuting attorney or a defense attorney. And if you're a defense attorney, especially as a public defender, you can't be trusted with shit. You're just trying to make somebody else look crazy.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You don't even have to do research as a defense attorney. You just have to take whatever argument there is as proof and gaslight them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I feel you on that. Like me being a good debater, sometimes I would skew the truth in order to make myself look righter than I was.
Yeah, because you could make it fit within the context of the debate.
Yes, I could turn your logic against you, and it wasn't good for me to get back in that energy.
Because winning an argument, it isn't always the best thing neither. Like
as a
you have
man,
like positive and negative, or like you're saying, like as a good human.
Yes, being right and important.
Yeah, sometimes
outcomes.
Outcomes for sure.
As a man, like outcomes outweigh being right. I can be. Even back to the my boy Alex, because me and him have that debate all the time. Because sometimes I'll tell him some stuff that he's doing or an exercise that he's doing for this thing, it isn't hitting it as well as he could. Being right as a man is not important. Getting the results you want as a man is important. Yeah. So whether or not that's the best exercise for him to be doing or not, if he's happy with the outcome, who gives a fuck? I was just arguing to be arguing because I wasn't high. So it was petty. It was petty, and I'm glad I'm past needing it.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm past needing because I was taking it as a medication.
Yeah, there's power. There is power in being able to wake up in the morning and being able to just be, you know what I'm saying, without having to alter your mindset. And you know, I get it. Like I didn't get into it. No, I had a good conversation with somebody where that we were talking about like psychedelics and stuff like that. Yeah. And you know, and I asked him. He was telling me like, you know, you do LSD or you do ayahuasca and it shows you all these beautiful things. I'm like, that's cool. And that's really fun to talk about. Yeah. But like, do you think you could reach these same conclusions without doing all that? And he was like, yeah, you probably could. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I think I'm just going to try to get there without.
But that's the reason why I liked you saying that it took you taking control of your actual surroundings and your activities and that altered your mind for you. Sometimes if you're just willing to, the same way I listen, we mentioned the music again. I keep going back to music because I'm really in the mood to rap. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, but we get there. In just a couple minutes, we're gonna let him show off his lyrical abilities.
Appreciate it. But yeah, if the way I want somebody to listen to the whole song is because I know what I did with the production. I know what I changed in the drums. I know the melody that I wrote, the pocket. I want you to be able to pay attention to all of these different pieces, but you also have to be able to break them apart for their relevance. That's the reason why the pen isn't as important in music nowadays. If they're not paying attention to every word, they're paying attention to the words that made them feel something. But that's another reason why I also still say Drake should be appreciated a little bit more as an artist, even in debating it with Kendrick, because he, for 10 years, was every bad girl's caption. That's a talent, whether you got bars or not. Yeah. He made a book that was nothing but captions, and every caption from that book got used. Yeah. He named the book the same thing as the album, For All the Dogs. And if you haven't heard the book, it's hilarious. And I promise you, you're going to drop. I didn't know that was a book. I promise you, you're going to drop it as a caption. You're going to drop something in that book as a caption. It's gold, just because it's witty and funny.
Yeah. There you have it. Well, you ready to rap?
Oh, I'm down.
Man,
I'm with
it. Let's get that knocked out. I have an 8th day, fam, so I'm going to eat.
For sure, take it.
But let's hold on, give me just a second.
Do your thing.
I have to figure out
how to move that back, because we talked for a while.
Oh, yeah, we did good, though. This is fun.
Oh, yeah.
We are about an hour in, which is about what I was aiming for.
Perfect.
Yep, 64 minutes. Cool. So, all right. When you let me know when you're ready, and I'll slide it in. So hold on just a sec before we do that. Let's when we get in. So the beat, where'd the beat come from?
The beat is from my guy, King Mags. It's a beat that I've already purchased. It just still has the tags on because I always like to show my guy love. Yeah, but it's a beat that I own. It's on the original beat is on Dawn 3. Okay. It's called Uptown, featuring my guy Kadeem. I promised my man I was gonna have more rap than I had beat. I had a different beat in mind entirely, but this beat, it's got the same energy to it. I just know I didn't want to get you in trouble with copywriting doing a beat that's out.
That's the main thing we're looking for is to avoid the copywriting. So Don Santiago, what is it, Trey? It's MOB Trey?
Mob Trey.
Mob Trey. Mm-hmm. And that's where you can find them and all that stuff. Yes. And we're going to give them a second to showcase the talent here. Let's see. We're gonna
I'm ready whenever that drops in. All right.
Max, baby.
Back to this rapping shit, fuck it, back to this rapping shit. Since I left, niggas got more average. What's been happening? Half of them asking where has he been? The others laugh at him because I traded my time for the lab and gyms. But let me spaz again. My last album redefined what a classic is. I emptied my soul, now I'm scraping the bottom just to be rapping this. Sad as shit, I let my doubts confuse me like where my passion went. Before you ask if I still have the gift, then watch this. Yeah. Cause I'm nicer than white neighbors and sharper than lightsabers. Kingpin, I'm the mic savior. Y'all sweet as grandma's Christmas cards, princesses kissing frogs and Swisher cigars. All you niggas frauds, niggas broads, old news. I'm from the old school, so when my niggas come by, I'm just meeting alumni. I'm from the class that you can't trust her if she can attract. I fuck so many chicks that ain't mine, my feelings detached. You smash mine, I ain't tripping. I'ma tell you to get it, then ask if she still do the shit I taught her when I was in it. I live in the fast lane. The streets is what I'm running through. You see the signs, how you lack when this red light in front of you. God protect my soul from this madness. My ears from all this average rapping that all these stands been trying to convince me hot when they lyrics is trash. If J. Cole spit on my level, Twitter would crash. Not a nigga more venomous living nor exist in the past. A victim of niggas switching and bitches itching to grab the dick and then gag to get a picture with me and my niggas and get it printed, then sit it in her digital dash. Like what a time to be alive, nigga. Know what a time to be alive, nigga. Not a nigga that rhyme iller than I put her into them and then a rose on their graves. That mean I'm dancing on they ditches and rocking my custom Timberlands. I've been the villain, you been pretending. I've been this killing, whip is tinted, I'm in and chilling. It's a wraith. I've been biscuit lifting and liquor sipping. A nigga been this illin', you can tell from what the pen is sealing. It's your fate. Who think he on my level? Dude not wise, been lying, son. He a simp, but dude not I. My lawyer white, Tim on the slugs do fly by, so no worries. I'm saying that you're a coon. I'm a tie-tie, my bitch in a tie-dye shirt, sipping a Mai Tai. In the Caribbean, the booth, I be kerosene. And the illest you've ever seen, and for sure to go holding toast. Out of Rolls Royce, become a phantom or see the Holy Ghost. You know me, folks, I've been had what you need. Before the weekend ever sample the Leah singing, can I hold you close? Colder slopes in Aspen, run it back. I'll put extra layers on the show, I'm colder than what your ass pin. Y'all some never was niggas if I'm a has-been. I'm money in the bank, if I catch a case I can cash in. Then load mags and jags and blast them in the future just to leave your presence in past tense. I'll come to your studio and sing bums when I glanced in. On God, I be eating, y'all niggas still fasting. The watch flirting, my kicks get man-ish. The car talk Ashton, say sit your pretty ass in, bitch. Even my possessions get aggressive. Young niggas think to get respect, they have to get a weapon. Well, I've been affected by pussy pot and promethazine. Ironic, I get sicker on medicine. Never seems to matter, I'm maturing. Can't escape from Beretta screams. Niggas swear they ain't let us straight just till they get a beam. Then run up on you in a whip with the dark tint. Caught around when I was 15 and ain't been calm since. Not thinking about dollars is nonsense, but I'm still lost as to where all of the hard shit and all the bars went. Fuck Kendrick opinion on where New York went. I'm in my Tim's Yankee fit in 2 turntables in a park shit. I take my shirt off and start a mosh pit with a Glock still in my cargos. It's funny my pop lived every story on Narcos, and I be pissed off when I have to pay to keep my accounts open at Fargo's. A street poet, the unsung hero of rhetoric, and never spit a bar that wasn't heat, so it's obvious why Kingpin has been a nigga's moniker. Got everyone you see on this monitor shook. When I'm rhyming, I cook.
Damn.
Yeah.
Whew.
I'm really one of them when y'all get done talking. I'm really one of them.
Yeah, there was a lot of bars in there. Sheesh.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, he didn't mean no disrespect when he said y'all can't battle. But this is what he was referring to.
Yes. Yeah, tell
he
me.
meant no disrespect. Because a lot of y'all make better music than me. Because I'm not somebody trying to blow up off songs. I make music that I give a fuck about, so the people who give a fuck about art come to see it. Y'all trying to blow off of it and make it a business, I'm not mad at y'all for it. But y'all are a part of the instrument. The music make me do some shit that the music can't do on its own. That's the difference. Yeah. I don't need a beat to do that. That's what he's referring to.
Yeah. Sheesh. Golly. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
The pen is there for sure. I love the Kingpin. Yeah, that's hard.
It's real. It's real.
No, I love rap. I still love the complex stuff. I still love the bars, I
make sure I have something nice for you.
He said, I come to your studio, I seen bums in there. Oh, damn. Yeah.
Hey, if you feel called out by it, I only mean it from an artistic standpoint. You get your money. I'm not mad at you for getting your money, but you don't want to sit there and have to follow this. That's all I mean.
Yeah. And if you want to sit here and follow that, maybe we should do that.
I'd love it.
If you think you could do that or better than that, then hit me up.
I'd love that. I'd love a reason to come back. Because I won't lie to you. I stopped short. I had 5 minutes. I stopped short. I'd love for one of you guys to give me a reason to come back.
Yeah. So there you have it, man. I love it. That was our first performance on the 180 Creator Interviews. More coming soon.
Oh, most def. I'll definitely be back.
Definitely.
I love this.
For sure. Man, for the channel, Joe Teel 180, these are 180 Creator Interviews. Like, share, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Hit the bell, it'll let you know when new videos drop. This will be episode like 30 something, man. We're going crazy.
I'm with it.
We're going crazy, man.
I like it.
So, man, tap in. We appreciate you being blessed, Don Santiago.
Sir,
Mob
I appreciate you having me again. Hey, officially MOB on everything. That's Instagram, that's Twitter. Mob Trey, M.O.B. Trey on any streaming service everywhere. Dawn 3 everywhere. Skin Deep everywhere. Hate You Love Me on the way.
Come on. I like it. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Y'all be blessed.
Yes, sir.